The marble floors gleamed like mirrors beneath the cascading light of the crystal chandeliers. Guests moved through the grand ballroom of the Halden estate in a swirl of satin gowns, tailored suits, and the quiet clinking of champagne glasses. It was the annual Halden Foundation Gala, a gathering where the country's wealthiest and most influential came together to celebrate innovation and excellence. This year's theme was the future of technology and humanity, and the centerpiece of the evening, a sleek, polished prototype of a device that promised to revolutionize sustainable energy, stood on display in the center of the room like a modern-day crown jewel. Cameron Halden, the host and CEO of Halden Industries, was in his element. Standing tall in a sharp black tuxedo, his silver hair slicked back and his posture exuding the confidence of a man who controlled not only a company but a narrative, he raised his champagne glass to the crowd. His voice carried through the air like a finely tuned instrument, every word calculated to hold attention. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his smile reflecting both charm and power, "tonight we stand on the brink of a new era. This," he gestured toward the gleaming device, "is the future. A product born from the minds of our most brilliant engineers, a testament to what human ingenuity can accomplish." Applause rippled across the room, polite but enthusiastic, the way people clap when they feel they should. The high society crowd was good at that, good at showing just enough approval without revealing whether they truly understood what they were applauding. Cameras flashed. Journalists scribbled notes. The prototype glimmered under the spotlight, its chrome casing reflecting the faces of the gathered elite. Then came the question. A journalist near the front, young, bold, perhaps too new to the game to understand the unspoken rules, raised her voice. "Mr. Halden, if I may. Who really invented this?" The room stilled, just slightly. It wasn't an unreasonable question, but there was an edge to the way she asked it, a subtle challenge in her tone. Everyone expected Cameron to give some diplomatic answer, perhaps crediting his team while ensuring his own name stayed at the center. But Cameron only smiled wider. "Who really invented this? Well, my dear, that's simple. The innovation belongs to the Halden team. And as CEO, I'm proud to stand as its representative." The crowd nodded, the moment almost passed, until a quiet voice came from the back. "That's not true." It was barely above a murmur, but it cut through the room like a blade. Heads turned. Conversations paused mid-sentence. The clinking of glasses stopped. The speaker was not a CEO, nor an engineer, nor one of the polished PR executives. She wore a simple black uniform with a white apron, Maria, one of the estate's maids. Her hands were clasped in front of her, and there was no defiance in her posture, only a quiet certainty. Cameron's brow furrowed ever so slightly, the first crack in his smooth facade. "Excuse me?" Maria stepped forward, her polished black shoes silent against the marble. "That device you're holding up tonight, the one you're calling your company's creation, it wasn't invented by your engineers. I know who made it. And it wasn't you." A ripple of shock spread through the crowd. The journalist's pen froze mid-word. A guest dropped a canopy. The security guard near the door shifted uneasily. Cameron chuckled lightly, as though humoring a child. "And who, pray tell, do you believe invented it?" Maria's eyes didn't waver. "My brother." Gasps. Her voice was steady, but there was a faint tremor beneath it, a mix of anger, grief, and something else entirely. "He worked for your company, Mr. Halden. He poured 3 years of his life into designing that device. He came home late every night, his hands stained with graphite and grease. He showed me sketches, prototypes. And when it was finally ready, he submitted it to you. 2 weeks later, he was fired. No credit. No compensation. And then I saw it announced under your name." The air in the room had shifted completely. No one dared sip their champagne now. Cameron's face was still composed, but his jaw had tightened ever so slightly. "Miss Maria, is it? His tone was smooth, dangerously so. I understand emotions can run high when discussing technology. But such accusations are not accusations, she interrupted quietly. The truth. And I have proof. The journalist's eyes lit up like fire catching dry kindling. The guests began whispering to each other, and the entire ballroom seemed to lean closer. Maria reached into the small pocket of her apron and pulled out a worn leather notebook. Its cover was cracked, its pages stuffed with diagrams, equations, and notes written in hurried, precise handwriting. This, she said, holding it up, is my brother's. Every equation. Every sketch. Every calculation for that device. Dated and signed. Cameron's mask faltered. Just slightly. But enough for those who knew him to see the shadow pass over his expression. Before he could respond, Maria added softly, he didn't live to see this night. He died 6 months ago. A heart attack. He was 34. And I think he died believing that his life's work was stolen from him. The room was silent. Not the polite silence of speeches, but the heavy, suffocating kind that comes when the air itself seems to hold its breath. The host's question had been simple, almost casual. Who really invented this? No one expected the answer to come from a maid in the back of the room. No one expected the weight of truth to hang so heavily over an evening meant for champagne and praise. And no one, least of all Cameron Halden, expected that the woman standing before him would be the one to unravel everything.